Welcome back to News Insights. Hello guys, budget again. Budget 2025 had been presented to the 4-member House at Rivers State House of Assembly.
And
has been passed. But
how does it sound in your ear that the budget is presented to 4-member House?
But we had been saying it here that democracy, you can't shortchange the legislature. You can't. That is number one stop of checks and balances for the executive. A 4-member will look handpicked and it can never represent the states. And no matter how we look at it from any side about the judgment of the Supreme Court, but one thing you can pick from the reason is that it has restored the required number of the State House members to their assembly. And that is remarkable. Do you understand? That is very, very remarkable. Now, if Fubara had presented this budget before and he was given 48 hours to present it again, I mean, he could even do it in 12 hours. He could even do it in 1 hour because it has been presented before. What do you think could be preventing him? I mean, Fubara, there could be something preventing him. Let me start from you, Peter.
I was thinking that these people, they will sheathe their sword for the sake of Rivers people.
Yeah.
I think that 48 hours is a challenge to Fubara.
Why?
Challenge in the sense that he's still expecting the certified true copy of the judgment from Supreme Court.
Okay, when is he
which will
expecting
arrive
that?
to him on Friday.
Okay.
I give me an ultimatum to present this thing in 48 hours. If he goes ahead to present this thing before he sees the judgment, that means he's accepted these people. He needs to see what is in that judgment. And again, I won't say issue. I'm trying to understand how he will do this. Because they've started implementing that budget. The part they've implemented, what happened to it? Will it become illegal? So I'm not
representation, it can be represented. The court order must be obeyed, okay? He still has 2025 budget. It has not disappeared. So he will present it.
So why give him ultimatum?
Okay, let me come to you before I get back to Peter again. Fubara is expecting the details of the judgment by Friday. Okay, by Friday. It's not within his control to receive it or not. Now he has ultimatum that would expire before that day to the president. He didn't say he will not. He said he will obey the court's order. He will obey the judgment. Do you think that 48 hours is adequate? And ordinarily that by now he should have represented the budget?
Well, I will not speak directly to the question of whether 48 hours is adequate or inadequate. But I will speak generally on this issue. Fubara and the Nigerian, political class who are in power, they choose to obey part of court order that suits them or they think is easy to obey instead of the whole court order. When you said you are waiting for the certified true copy of a court judgment or ruling for on the 7th of March before you take action. Meanwhile, you started taking action on that same judgment. So it became worrisome. Because you have asked, because the judgment also said that the local government election you conducted is null and void. You've already taken action by asking the chairman to hand over to the most senior local government personnel.
Which in itself is challengeable.
Yes. So if you have not seen the certificate copy that will enable you to see whether this judgment has ordered you to do X, Y, Z or not, why obeying that part of the judgment and not this one? Speaking about the 48 hours, I am not in line with the 27 member led by Admiral Willie Force giving. We are not in the military era for crying out loud. If we are saying that for peace to reign, they should know that they are just coming from a battle war and they are coming to sit down to discuss how they can move River State forward. Giving 48 hours means that they are still in a battle mode, which I do not subscribe to. Okay. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
So they should have, at least they have resumed their sitting. Okay, this is what the Supreme Court said. Mr. Governor, we need to represent this budget. But not giving him a time. Bam. I am not subscribing to that.
Okay, but essentially, if not given a time frame, he could choose to continue to implement the budget without presenting it. There's still going to be a time frame. What do you think? Even though you think 48 hours is a little bit sudden, there's still going to be a time frame.
The irony here is that the judgment is open to various interpretations. I've listened to a fellow now which says that judgment does not in any way implies that these 27 people has been restored.
So the more reason they should see the real black and white of the judgment.
What issue have in this country is judiciary. They could.
No, let's leave judiciary. Let's. I know it's part of it.
They interpret it to suit their cause. So it's okay. Those lawyers that's working for Fubara will interpret it to suit what he wants to do. Those on that side will interpret to suit what they are doing.
But if there's express statement,
they should be mindful that people are suffering. See, when I saw some pro-Wike celebrating that the state fund will be blocked, I was amazed.
I was able to come to that maybe later.
Human beings are going to suffer. States won't pay workers. The what's going on will stop. The state will stand still. And we're talking about human beings.
Okay, let me still pick you. Do you think Fubara should be given time to present? Say 24 hours, 48 hours, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 10 days, whatever. There must be a time.
If they read it and see there is no way out, he has no choice than to obey the law.
So now, do you think it's an act of convenience, before I get to Philip, that made Fubara to choose to fractionally obey the court judgment he has not seen, while relying on seeing the document to obey the remainder?
Judgments. It's not. There are two different judgments. One is for the local government election. One is for the budget.
Has he seen the copy of the judgment?
Of the local government. He has not seen it about it, so I wouldn't know whether he has seen it.
Okay.
But he has implied.
But he thinks he needs this judgment to be able to follow
for that, he has gone ahead to obey the court ruling.
But people are also saying that is a little bit contentious, but let's not get into that. Because even Amawale himself is not believing he has obeyed that of local government appropriately. Because the Supreme Court said non-elected person cannot head in local government. Now he has handed over to non-elected person. But let's leave that. Philip, let's put it this way. Yesterday, I know you were saying they shouldn't drag Wike into this, but Wike himself was rejoicing. Isn't it infantile that you are rejoicing that a state allocation to your own state meant to develop your state, pay workers, pay people working for the state, do whatever, even to be headed by a governor you nominated, that you fall out doesn't mean everybody have to. You say this is the best person to rule the state. You campaign for him. We can campaign for Fubara in and out. The state should not suffer. Now, it's a judgment that leads to withholding the state allocation was pronounced. And Wike was dancing, praising the Lord. On video, I still have the video. Isn't that infantile? Does that show he puts the state ahead of himself?
You see, that is why the man, Fayemi, had told us that Nigerian politicians, they are acting dramas. You know, that act of Wike is act of wickedness. It's not act of a man who had the interests of people at heart. So the truth remains that if the allocation is blocked, who suffers?
Who suffers?
Is it not the masses of River State? The people you claim that you are working for?
That's right.
So, but again, you see, you know, when you go for a battle, there's always collateral damage.
Yes.
So Wike did that so that he wants to show his superiority over Fubara. Like you rightly said, in fact, it was Wike that contest election, not Fubara.
Yes.
That's the truth.
Yes.
So he's trying to show that, look, you are still a small boy, but for the interest of the people, I consider that as act of wickedness.
Yes.
You understand? So you know, he was saying that he had not seen that Mr. Falala said, these people, they are not, the judgment does not in any way says that they are a member of the House. It is not obvious that what was the basis, what was the plank that made Fubara to present the budget to this member? He said they are no longer member of the House. If the Supreme Court is saying that go back and present the budget,
it means they are members of the House.
It means these people, they are the members of the House.
You know, we talked about it the other time.
So what are we talking about here? So yes, like you said, everybody will interpret it, but there's a clear interpretation.
But a judgment remains a judgment.
Whether you want to see it as factual copy or not, whether you see the reason why. In most cases, people want to see certified true copy and study it and know what to do is if there's room for appeal.
Yes.
So if they study it, what will they not do with it? Because in the open public that the 27 member has been restored, and the Supreme Court has ordered Fubara to represent the budget to them.
Yeah.
What is strange, like you said, whether we postpone it or not, you will still present the budget to them.
The judgment.
So what are we talking about here?
The judgment
So
stands.
we are not trying to support anybody, but it needs to be done right
So that the Rivers people
can
will
enjoy
be
the
at
dividends
peace.
of them.
But you just said something that is interesting. You look at this to see whether there's a room for appeal.
Yeah,
So
but you can't go back to the Supreme Court.
I'm just taking what he said.
Yes.
I'm just putting him.
Yeah.
So if there's a room for appeal, and you present the budget, you've shortened yourself.
But this is a
That's
Supreme Court.
why I
This is
said
Supreme Court
if
judgment.
there's a rule, this is a Supreme Court judgment. So there's no room.
There's a room to
There's
Go
no
back
room.
to-
That's why
are you
I use
going
that
back to
word.
Supreme Court?
Are you going back to Supreme Court? There's no other
Are you
word.
going to go back to Supreme Court? Most cases that people have taken the case back to Supreme Court, they end up being fined.
It's true. Yes, now because
Treating it as abuse of
there
court
must
process.
be an end to litigation.
Were we drunk when we gave the judgment?
But wait, but are we saying that Father is not learned enough?
No, but it's not
Well,
the Supreme
it's-
Court.
See,
It's opinion.
Falana is a human being. He's bound to make
He can
mistakes.
lose a case in
Yes.
Supreme Court.
He is a voice when it comes to legal issues in Nigeria.
But we
I'm
agree.
sorry to say this is not the judgment you get in place of newspaper. It's not the judgment you
It's
get
a
in
different
court.
thing.
So get that
The
in your
case-
head.
the case was
I'm
not-
a legal person,
let
but
me tell you-
somebody, look at me now, they are
That,
saying this.
Philip,
Anybody can be named as
Philip,
a
let me get it clear from Peter. The case was not before Falana as a judge. What Falana will say in the face of television is different from what he would do if he was the judge. Judgment will have precedence. Judgment will be a point of reference from generation to generation, and especially Supreme Court judgment. So we can't be placing Falana's opinion, why it's respectable. We can't be placing it side by side with the court judgment. I think Fubara himself has accepted to comply with the court judgment. So for him to continue to wait is what I was asking you. How long do you think Fubara should wait? If after getting this judgment, a record by Friday, what time you think is reasonable for him?
No, if he gets on Friday, they study over the weekend. I think by Tuesday should obey.
Because he had presented the same thing before.
He should obey the law. If they've gone through it and they satisfy with the judgment, they should.
Okay,
He has to
Peter.
do it needful. He doesn't have a choice in it.
Peter, I you know, like I said, you say there must be an end to litigation, which is a time factor. How long do you think Fubara, he has presented this bill? This is a budget that he had already presented. He's probably not changing anything. Receiving this thing on Friday now by his own standard, how long from that time should the Rivers people get this budget presented?
You know, that's why I said in my opening speech, I don't know why Nigerian political class choose, when a judgment is passed, they choose the portion to obey. Because like you said, this is a budget you have presented before. You are not doing anything new. There's not even wrong for him to have presented the budget yesterday when he has sat. So he doesn't need any time.
Any more time? Okay, I think we'll get it out.
Don't forget, this people are going on recess.
It's all right. That is even more reason why he should have presented, but it's okay. Let's put it this way. Choosing fractional part of judgment or a part of judgment to obey while waiting for judgment records, certified to copy to obey the one that is even the most contentious one can be seen to be politics in some form, no matter how you look at it. The pronouncements of the Supreme Court remains the same, that the budget should be represented. No matter what is recorded, they have said the budget is represented. Mind you, this was a judgment. People were there. Do you understand? So it's not like it's done in the secret. Okay, but we'll continue with this reverse maybe when we come back. This is still This Insight. We'll be right back.